Hey everyone, welcome back to another update video on the Create and Above and Beyond pack that we're playing. Today we're gonna go ahead and take a look at all the craziness that I've done. So let's go. So the first big update would be the storage has gotten more full. Still confused. They're still not very well organized. We've added so I've added some cobble processing to the cobbles that come from down in the basement. So they intersect cobble stuff, and then they currently, all the cobbles that it makes currently get filtered out into this chest with the normal cobble gen. And then this gets ground down into cobblestone. And then the cobblestone gets ground down into sand, flint, and clay, which then gets mixed with our kelp from the kelp farm. The clay gets mixed, which that comes from over here. That comes out here, goes up this conveyor, comes into here, gets mixed, and then that will make us the algae blend. That will then, using the little fan here, will blow the lava down onto it, cook it, and then that actually goes into a storage drawer. If we come over here, we can take a look. So that goes into here, which it's locked, so that way it won't let the algae blend through until it's done, which I could have just done that with a funnel probably too, or a tunnel, I mean. Instead of a storage drawer, would have accomplished the same thing, but I didn't have an excess of those at the time. Once it's done cooking from there, it'll come out here, go into this little basin here. It'll get mixed in with the andesite to make the andesite alloy. The andesite alloy will then, which if I do this so you can see, gets loaded onto this little weighted plate here. That gets flung up and over, up onto this conveyor here, gets put onto this weighted conveyor, and then launched up to here, which will then go into this chest, and then get dispersed down into here to make the kinetic mechanisms automatically, which, as you can see, it's been working really hard at that. And then I did upgrade this to the unbreakable saw, so it will never actually deteriorate. Then this right here is just a normal grinding chest. If there's anything I just need to grind that I don't want to run through over there, which will be most things. And then these are then weighted, or they're going to this storage drawer, and then they're waiting for me to do the next step for the step 2 process, which will then make the precision mechanisms, which I will be working on that probably today. Oh yeah, I don't know if I had this last time. The rubber now will get auto-cooked, so it comes out there, it gets cooked. Same thing as the algae blend. So it sits here, gets cooked, and once it's done, it'll go into this chest and then filter down here. And I just kind of have it sitting over here for now because I don't really know where to put them. And then right here, I have a trade station that I hooked up to our logging system. So for every stack, it gives you 1 coin. Currently, the logs take a quite fun trip. Yeah, so the logs come from the basement, like before. But when there's logs, right now it's using them a little too fast. So they'll come right here. They come up here, go up this conveyor, and then they go into here. Where, let me grab a little bit of these. It will then land on here. It slingshots it way up here. And then they land here, go down this conveyor here, into this chest, which then will spit out a couple here to fuel this, so we can have power. And then the rest will go down into the hoppers here, which will go into here and fill that up. I need to get more logs so that way that can be a little faster because it's a little slow right now. So if we take a sand and a quartz, we get one of the little seeds. We can then take that, put that inside this chest. That will then filter itself around here until it, because it has to do this process 4 times off of 3. So it's 3 of these 4 times, I think is what it was. It's a process and a half. And then basically, once that's done, they will filter out into here and then come into this chest because I put on the tunnel, I have a filter here that only lets that one pass through here. Otherwise, it'll just loop itself around until it's done. So for that process too, because I forgot, because I'm bad, So if you take the quartz, you put it in here, the mechanical crafter will craft it, and then that will make it so you don't need sand, basically. And then I can go and do that process that we were looking at before. And then for water source, I just have one of the accumulators up there at the top with 2 water blocks on each side. So I did, so the sandpaper production, I did change that a little bit because it kept basically getting stuck before. So right now I have the mixer up at the top. I still have the 2 hoppers. And then I added a brass funnel with a filter for just sandpaper, because otherwise it kept trying to eject like just sand or just other things out when I was using the hopper, which I don't know why it started doing that, because it wasn't doing that originally and then it started doing that, so it's whatever. So that will basically go to here, sandpaper, and then that process is still the same for now, which I will probably be changing this process to work with those guys over there. So that way I can filter everything straight into it. So I made a rotational speed controller here for the large cogwheel, so then you don't need a bunch of weird gear conversions. This kind of does it for you. So it's a lot smaller and cleaner. And then I can kind of set this to whatever I need to, because if I go too high, then it will put too much stress on the entire system. Now over here, I did expand out the farm a little bit because we need more logs, and I think I'm going to have to expand out the log farm a little bit more anyways. We have another set of trees. So it's basically the same principle as before, except for when this drops stuff, it'll just drop onto this conveyor, and then this conveyor will basically just take it all the way around, and then it goes down here, and then processes the way that it did before. The other thing I added here was for the gravel. So when this thing makes cobble, it will then also make gravel, which will have 2 options. So it can either go down this path to be made into the alloy, or it can go this path, which will sit it on this pressure plate here, bring it up here, and then this will kind of go into this little chunk here, and then it will get washed with some water. Same thing as the lava one, but you use water, and that will give you flint and iron nuggets. So it's basically free iron. And then from there, I have it come out of I have the iron nuggets come out of this chest, and then they go into this basin, and then it has a mechanical press that will push the, it'll basically compress them and turn them into an ingot, and then that will pop out here and come right here. So basically, free iron. And then a lot of this will probably be cleaned up once I can make a motor or something, because we don't need quite as much stuff, but it's all still working off just the wind power and the wind power and water wheels so far. I did have to add a couple more water wheels though, because it was getting a bit much. So the wind turbines is looking like that, and my water wheels are now basically stretched across the entire back of the base. So that's pretty much all that we got for this little update. So if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe down below. And we'll see you next time.